Hello students, today we are going to learn how to factor a quadratic trinomial using TI-84 calculator, the one that you have as Wabbit. So first of all, talking about what is a trinomial. A trinomial is a polynomial with three terms. Ax square is one term, bx is another term, and c, which is a number, a real number, is the third term. The coefficient of the first term ax square is a, the coefficient of the second term bx is b, and c is a number. Why is it called quadratic? Because the highest, the degree of this polynomial, the highest power to which x is raised is 2, so that is why it's called quadratic. So this is an example of quadratic trinomial 6x squared plus 11x plus 4. So if I compare it, a is equal to 6, b is equal to 11, which is the coefficient of x, b is equal to 11, and c is equal to 4, right? So a is a coefficient of x squared once again, b is a coefficient of x. Coefficient is a number which is multiplied to that exponent. X squared is multiplied with 6, so that is 6 is a coefficient of x squared. Similarly, 11 is a coefficient of x. So how do you factor this? And what does factoring mean? Write this trinomial as a product of two or three things. So that is what factoring means. Okay, so step one. Write down the values of the coefficient that we just discussed, a, b, and the last term c, comparing it with the standard quadratic trinomial. So if you compare 6x squared plus 11x plus 4 with the standard trinomial, you will see a is 6, b is 11, and c is 4. So you write that down. Now, then we use something called once we have our ABC, A, B, and C, then step 2 is we use something called the X method to find two numbers, D and E, say, whose product is A times C. What is our A? A is 6. A is 6. A is 6 and C is 4. So whose product is A times C, 6 times 4, which is 24 in this case, and sum is the middle number 11b. Sum is the middle number. Okay, so we have to look for two numbers D and E whose product is. So you can start making factors of 24 and look for two factors, whose sum is 11. So you can do 1 and 24. 1 plus 24 is 25, so it's not 11. Similarly, 2 times 12 is 14, is not 11. 3 times 8 is a 24, and the sum is 11. But how do you do the same thing using a calculator? Because sometimes the numbers are negative, sometimes they are bigger numbers. So how do you do the same thing using a calculator? So on your calculator, I will read out these steps, then I'll show you on the calculator. On your calculator, go to Y1 and type in the product, which in our case is A times C, which is 24. Type in the product divided by X, right? Then you go to Y2 and type in Y1 plus X. How do you get your Y1? You have to go to vars, y vars, and then 1, 1. I'll show you everything. And then after that, we have to go to the table to look for B in the third column. So let's see how we do that. So what did I say? The first step, turn the calculator on. The first step is go to Y1. What is our product? A times C is 24. So you will do 24 divided by X. Then what is the next step? You go to y2, and make it y1 plus x. So how do you get your y1? You go to vars here. Wait a minute, let me just go to y1 first. So I go down here, and in front of y2 you have to type in y1 plus x. Go to vars, go to y vars, press number 1, which is function, and then press 1 again. So you will get your y1 here. Plus, what is it? y1 plus x. y1 plus x. So you get your x, right? Now what do? You go to table and look for b is equal to 11 in the third column, right? So you go to second graph, which is your table, and b is equal to 11 in the third column. So you go here, 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 and you will see in the third column you have b is equal to 11. What are the two numbers? 8 and 3. So those are your two numbers. 8 times 3 is a 24. So the product of the two numbers is a times c, and 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay. So I'm going to take those two numbers and I will write down my two numbers, 8 and 3. So 8 and 3. Okay, so what do you do next after that? So you have your two numbers, 8 and 3 or 3 and 8, it does not matter. Then in the next step, you are going to, step 4, you're going to write down your trinomial, quadratic because the highest power is 2, trinomial because there are 3 terms. So you're going to write down your quadratic trinomial. um, you're going to split your middle term 11x as the sum of 8x and 3x, okay, or 3x and 8x, it doesn't matter. 11 is 3 plus 8 and 8 plus 3, the same thing, right? Once you have the middle term 11x split as the two numbers that you found, 3 and 8, write it as a sum because we know 3 plus 8 is 11, so we can do that. After that, you take, these are now 4 terms. It's not a quadratic trinomial anymore. It's a quadratic equation with it's a polynomial of 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to split it into uh, um, uh, into pairs. So first pair is 6x squared plus 3x, second pair is 8x plus 4. What are you going to do after that? Of each pair, take the common factor out. The number that goes into both 3 and 6, the greatest common factor is 3. And compare x square and x, take the smaller of the two exponents. So between x square and x can be written as x to the power 1. 1 is smaller than 2, so you write x outside. Okay, now we have written 3x outside. Now we have to make 6x square. 3x times 2x makes a 6x square. 3x times 1 makes a 3x. So that's how we get the next factor. Similarly, for the second pair, the common factor out is 4 because 4 goes into both 4 and 8. So, and this term has x, this does not have x, so we can't take the x out. So you have 4 as a common factor. Now, if you take 4 out, you have to make 8x plus 4. How do you do that? 4 multiplied by 2x, that will make 8x. 4 multiplied by 1, that will make 4. Okay, so that's how you take the common factor out of each pair, and then the remaining factor you have to write down, so that when you multiply 3x plus times 2x plus 1, you get 6x squared plus 3x. And when you multiply the common factor 4, which was the common factor of the second term, with next factor 2x plus 1, you'll get 8x plus 4. Now after that, what do? After that, you see that this is the common factor which appears in both the terms. So you take the common factor out, and what remains is 3x plus 4. So you write that down as the other factor. So that is how you have factored your the equation in question cx 6x squared plus 11x plus 4 into two factors 3x plus 4 times 2x plus 1. How do you check whether your answer is right or not? You can box multiply 3x plus 4 with 2x plus 1, combine the like terms, and you will see that you got the um, you got the answer. So the calculator part, you can practice, try again. The most important part is that once you get those two numbers whose product is a times c 24 and whose sum is 11, those two numbers were 3 and 8. Once you get those two numbers, you split the middle term as the sum of those two numbers, and after that, you pair, it becomes a polynomial of 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, make pairs of 2 each, and take the greatest common factor out from each pair. 3 goes into both 6 and 3, so you take that out. Between x squared and x, the smaller one is x, so take x out, and then you make the remaining factor so that when you multiply 3x with 2x, you get 6x squared. When you multiply 3x with 1, you get 3x. So that is how you fill in this one. Similarly, the common factor between 8x and 4 is 4. And then the next factor you need to form so that when you multiply 4 with what, it will make a 8x. 4 with 2x makes an 8x. 4 with what makes a 4? 4 times 1 makes a 4. Be careful of the signs. Then you take the common 2x plus 1 out, and whatever remains 3x plus 4, you make the next factor. Okay, I hope this is useful, and you can watch it, rewind, forward, whatever you want to do. And this is the most general method of factoring a trinomial. You could have also, like I said, you could have also started making a factor tree of 24 and look for two numbers who are, like, for example, 8 times 3 is 24. So the two factors which multiply up to 24 and sum up to 11. So then you don't have to use a calculator, but calculator is useful if the numbers are more complicated. Okay. Okay, guys. And next video will be on factoring polynomials with four terms.